Hi, neighbors. Welcome to Season 3 of The Stoners Next Door with the king and queen of mayhem, Aaron and Mal. Remember to kickstart your weekend here every Friday with a curated critique of some of the craziest posts by your next-door neighbors from around the country.
This is Aaron.
And I'm Mal. Welcome back. All right, we're going to start right off with a safety notice, and it's titled Balls Being Thrown into My Backyard. After years of having pots, lights, plants being broken in my yard from kids throwing their footballs, etc., into my yard, I've decided that I will no longer be returning them. The kids or the balls?
Mine.
Okay. They will be donated to kids in need. Thank you for your contribution. Oh my gosh. Okay. Roger says, you really need to stop posting about kids' balls. That's so good. This has been reported to the police. That's classic. That's really good. Because what kids in need are really short on balls. Oh my God. Damn, kids, always slinging their balls everywhere. And Robert says, is she going to donate the rocks that get thrown also? That's a given. Yeah. You know her windows are going to be taken out. Wow, breaking the time-honored tradition of returning children's toys when they're accidentally tossed over the fence.
Yeah.
And I really pegged this person as the MAGA type. Here's another one. My three brothers and I grew up next door to a Karen like this. She could have had a peaceful life if she hadn't been such a bitch. That's exactly what's going to happen. They will torture her until she just can't see straight. Okay, this was in Missed Connections, and it says, to the lady who was walking right behind me in the parking lot when the $100 bill fell out of my back pocket as I took out my keys, and yet you didn't tell me. I hope you burn in hell. That money was fine for buying medicine for my cat.
Oh.
Poor kitty. Poor kitty. Gosh.
Kitty.
You know,
This one says, beer. To whoever thought it was a brilliant idea to dispose of your empty beer can, Foster's, by my front door, you should be ashamed of yourself. Hide your beer cans from your mother in front of someone else's house. Otherwise, she and I are going to have a long chat about how best to deal with such blatant disrespect. Thank you.
But Foster's, though, that's not a kid.
Kylie says, I don't know why everyone thinks this is so funny. It's a serious problem with the ever-growing assortment of delicious craft beer. Why would anyone stoop so low as to drink a Foster's? Disrespectful indeed. And Eric says, when I was 16 or 17, my parents went out of town and I had a party. The next day, the next door neighbor comes over and says she heard the party I was having. I apologized for any noise and told her I was trying to keep it down. She says, oh no, I just came over to see if you want to put all the empty bottles in the trash in my backyard so your parents wouldn't find out.
See, that's what you do, people.
That's the way to encourage delinquency.
We have to teach them
nice
the right
neighbors.
way. God, maybe they too will grow up and have a podcast. Reach for the stars.
Oh, God.
Oh my God. Okay.
Seriously.
It's pretty sad that I've started writing down anything suspicious that goes on in my neighborhood. Cars driving slowly, turning around, people walking that I've never seen before.
Watch out.
I feel like Mrs. Kravitz. Most of you or maybe all of you, don't know who that is from Bewitched a long time ago.
Yes.
She is definitely
60s.
Mrs. Kravitz. But she made it a point to know her surroundings and what was going on in the neighborhood. But maybe I'll catch something somehow, someday that will help. This needs to stop. And then the replies come. So Kevin says, I watch everybody and I see everything going on. Nothing happens. This needs to stop. He's like, question mark, question mark, question mark. Oh my gosh. Brian says, this needs to stop. Yes, it does. And you need to quit watching Bewitched.
Yeah.
So good. Ellen says, I'd push my best friend into traffic to have that kind of free time. That was good. That's a good one.
Oh, God. All right. Hello. Recently, when browsing the internet, I have noticed multiple hot single women in my area who want to meet up. Well, I do appreciate the support. And back in high school, I was quite the ladies' man as the captain of our racquetball team. I am now a happily married father of 3 lovely children with 4 grandchildren. So I kindly ask you to please leave me alone and let me browse the internet in peace. Thank you.
Well, clearly there's a reason those are coming up.
Jennifer says, hot single women have no shame when it comes to former racquetball team captain granddads.
So true. That was so appealing.
Alicia says, I love it when the elderly discover the internet. An angel gets its wings every single time.
So good. I was thinking, when was racquetball? I was trying to think, was that like 70s? Exactly.
Dara says, I'm a grandpa now, but back in high school, I was cool. And Roger says, high schools had racquetball teams? Actually, yes, they did. They did.
Yeah.
Scott says, I believe he has to actually log into his Bang Brothers account to see those ads on the side.
That's right. See, I think that you have to get
Donna,
a little code on your computer.
Says, can someone call for a wellness check on Pop Pop? And Mercedes says, pretty sure this is a fake account. Stop showing me pictures of hot women, said no guy ever.
Right.
And Janine says, I am such a sucker for a man in wristbands and a white terry cloth.
You know what? And those short shorts, those
shorts.
that is exactly.
Short, tight shorts with white tennies.
Totally had that same image in my head. My kindred sister. Okay, this is a misconnection. Red-haired man walking your black dog. You have the most gorgeous long red hair. You're very pale.
Well, of course, because you're redhead.
Because you're redhead. You don't have to say that. Very tattooed. Well, then how do you know he's pale? I always see you walking your big black dog through our neighborhood, but I haven't seen you lately. Did you move? Or is it just the rain? I'm always driving, so it's hard to say hi, or else I would. Reply with our street name to let me know it's you. Okay, good luck. Let us know.
Here's a couple cold reads.
Whoever hit my car and drove off. Hit my mom. Sorry, it was a Freudian slip.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Whoever hit my car and drove off, your mom's a hoe. That's it.
That's all it says.
That's the post.
Your mom's a hoe.
Your mom's a hoe.
And then this is a follow-up on the woman who had the squash.
Oh, the stolen squash? Okay.
From her front yard.
Uh-oh. And I actually admitted to this too. Stop helping yourself to my apple tree. Consider it a legal warning. It is trespassing. You're on a camera. The cameras are very well hidden. No one has permission. Someone or multiple individuals took buckets last night. These apples are to be sold to a local parrot store, which is a loss of income for our family, which they are too soon come to pick up. And it was reserved in the spring. Oh my goodness. Tomorrow the tree will be gated with signs with a motion sprinkler with blue food dye. I like that. Steal at your own risk, looking like a smurf. You don't go to a store and help yourself. That's not true.
Yes, they do.
That's not true. Grapes, you have to sample grapes. I mean, that's just the golden rule. Yeah. A fruit tree is someone's property. It's for private use, not public. I think that's debatable. If it's hanging over the sidewalk, it's fair game. This is the last year it will be in the front. Year after year, we deal with this. It will cost us money to have it professionally moved to the property. Apparently, people do not respect the laws of others' property.
But I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friend.
Okay, that's good. So here's some of the responses. I was 2 days years old when I learned there were parrot stores. I thought the same thing, David. I like an entire store for parrots. Interesting. That would be like my hell, to be honest with you. John says, and now I need to know from the original poster if there were any blue thieves sighted in the area. For sure. Are you listening, Ring Company? Now we need our front door cameras to also spray blueprint. Oh, good.
I would love that.
So would that not be the best? Like you could just, dye packs. You need dye packs. That's
just a little squirt.
My sister and I were talking about like porch pirates and putting dye packs like the banks used to use in their for robbers.
Like, not authorized.
Right. You walk past the sensors and then they just explode and you're red for about 3 months. It's like no denying. I think that's a perfect idea. And Ring, you should get on this.
Yeah.
join.
That's hysterical.
Be an adapter, not an adopter. Okay, Kelly says, as I do an immediate Amazon search for motion sprinkler with food dyes. That's funny. So they have cameras, but they don't know whether it was one person or multiple that stole their apples. Oh gosh. And then Mercedes. Also, if you could have a motion detector that sprays a liquid at any offending trespasser, why blue dye? Why not, yellow pea? That's our girl.
Oh, God. All right. Well, that's it for this week's edition of The Stoners Next Door. And finally, in the for sale department, 2 vintage, gently used toilets. The couple who owned them were on a vegetarian diet, and they have less than 30,000 flushes. Gently cleaned weekly, made of white porcelain, excellent hangover companion, can handle even the weakest of stomachs. $75 a piece or $100 for both. These 2 have been together for over 20 years, and we'd hate to break them up.
Shout out to Adam Michael, our sound mixer, and thanks to all of you for joining us. Until next week.
And remember, no matter who you are or where you live, always be nice to the stoners next door, because you never know who they are and you never know what stories they have to tell.
The Stoners Next Door is a production of Aaron Douglas Enterprises, LLC.